Twin flames don't come into union. I want to talk about this topic today, and I want to talk about divine feminine, divine masculine, divine love, divine union, what it is, and how it plays out between twin flames and soulmates, because those terms, the divine love can apply for both kinds of soul tie. So, starting from a little explanation, when we talk about divine love, it simply means love between divine feminine and divine masculine. It has to be divine feminine and divine masculine. It's the energy of the individual, but it is not gender specific. Okay, so we have divine feminine, divine masculine. All right, but what does it mean being a divine feminine and being a divine masculine? Being in your divine state basically means that you have reached inner union. And inner union means that your inner feminine and your inner masculine, because we all have both of these energies within, your inner feminine and your inner masculine has been healed, right? So you have went through journey of healing, of inner work, of shadow work, where you have addressed all your traumas, all your woundings, you have healed the distorted masculine, the distorted feminine within, the wounded masculine, the wounded feminine within. You have embraced those two energies, understood those two energies, and taught those two energies to beautifully interact with each other internally, to create that sort of a teamwork, right? So they're no longer fighting, the mind and the heart, the feminine and the masculine, they're no longer fighting because they're wounded, but they're healed. They appreciate each other. They understand that they're equals. They're just different. And the more they work together, the more beautifully you can exist in this world. So that basically means that you are in inner union. Now, this state is available to literally anyone. Anyone, right? Anyone can heal and for journey of healing, reach that balance of masculine and feminine and reach inner union. And then rise into your masculine or drop into your feminine. So what's the difference? How does it play out for twin flames and how does it play out for soulmates? So for twin flames, what happens is that usually, again, we're going to generalize here, but usually when the two flames meet, that is the moment of your awakening. The feminine awakens first, the masculine follows. But that is that intense moment in your life when you go through that moment of awakening, from switching to your physical karma to your spiritual karma, to getting out of the matrix, right? Twin flames have the same frequency. Your twin flame is the only object in the universe that has the same frequency. So when they meet and they're unhealed, and that's how it usually happens, it is an explosion. It is a disaster. That's why it's from to the outside observer is so toxic and it's so difficult, because it is your ultimate mirror who is showing you through that in and out energy every single little trigger, trauma, wounding that you need to heal, right? And then the twins go into separation because they literally cannot hold that frequency. They cannot be around each other, so they go into separation to embark on their individual journey of healing. The feminine operates more on a 5D frequency, the masculine operates in 3D, so he heals the wounding of the trauma of the karmic patterns, karmic relationships, karmic contracts, traumas related to those relationships, and the physical world, whereas the feminine operates on a soul level. And after years of separation, how long does it take? It depends on an individual pairing, on the woundings they have to go through, how dedicated they are to the journey, and the unique divine timing. Once they are ready, once they both in their divine state of inner union, divine masculine and divine feminine, the divine brings them back to each other. That's why I said twins never get into union. Twin flames never get into union. Who gets into union are divine counterparts. So when they're both healed, they can get back into union and create externally that beautiful microcosmos, the beautiful micro union that they created internally, feminine and the masculine, because you have to learn to that teamwork that of the masculine and the feminine within you internally to really be able to hold that union. The only difference when it comes to soulmates, because that's sort of a beautiful story of divine love, is available to anyone. So the only difference is that usually what happens to soulmates is that this traumatic event that awakens you as an individual, it's not done because you already meet your soulmate. It's usually done by a different traumatic event in your life. So for some, it's going to be because your karmic ex leaves you. For some, it's going to be because you lose everything in life. You lose your job, maybe you lose your partner. For some, it's going to be because you really hit that rock bottom, right? When it comes to your woundings, when it comes to your self-esteem, you're really in a bad place of depression. For some, it can be a physical disease, it can be an accident, something traumatic hits you in life. Sometimes it's bigger, sometimes it's milder. It depends on an individual. And you suddenly feel like this has to end. I have to heal. This is the moment of switch that I always talk about, from physical karma to spiritual karma. And you start your journey of healing. And you say to yourself, no, I don't want to live like this. I want to understand. Why am I so triggered? Why do I feel like that? Why certain things happen to me? You start to heal your traumas, your wounds. And again, you heal your inner masculine. You heal your inner feminine. You teach them, once they're healed, to operate together, and that brings you into a state of inner union. And again, you either rise as a divine masculine or you drop as a divine feminine. And in divine timing, when the time is right, universe aligns you on your highest, most aligned timeline with your divine counterpart. So the only difference is that you don't, as you heal, you don't know who this person is. You don't know where they are. You don't know when it's going to happen. When for twin flames, we also don't know when it's going to happen. But you also can achieve that state of beautiful inner union. There are little differences when it comes to the nature of the connection, right? Because like I said, twin flames are of the same frequency, exact same frequency. And soulmates, higher soulmates, are of a very similar frequency, but a little different. And the characteristics of those two relationships, once in union, are a little bit different. I don't want to get into this. I'm happy to always talk about this on my sessions and respond to any questions. I'm reluctant to talk about this openly online because people get very easily triggered. People always are coming from this mindset of superiority, inferiority. I'm better because I'm twin, and I'm better because I'm soulmate. It doesn't matter. In a whole wide world, in a whole wide universe, whether you're on a journey with your karmic, with your twin, whether it's your 1000th lifetime or your second lifetime, we're all equals because we're all one. We're all source. We're all one consciousness that creates an illusion of separation to experience itself through the experience of human life. So we're all one. And I always laugh how, divine sometimes in soulmates, they like post memes about twin flames because they get triggered often, but it's just a different nature of a relationship and a soul tie. But both can achieve divine state, divine union, and find yourself a counterpart to walk this path with you. But a very important information, especially for the soulmates, that you will never find what you're looking for. And that's the beauty of inner union. Once you are in inner union, you create that microcosmos within you of the feminine and the masculine energies that are healed and working together. You're whole. You're not looking for anything. And that is the frequency when the divine sees that you are ready to be aligned with your counterpart.